Follow along as we read Part 2 of the Odyssey, Book 10, The Bag of Winds and the Witch Circe. Odysseus and his men land next on the island of Aeolia. There, the Wind King, Aeolus, does Odysseus a favor. He puts all the stormy winds in a bag so that they will not harm the Ithacans. The bull's hide bag containing the winds is wedged under Odysseus's afterdeck. During the voyage, the suspicious and curious sailors open the bag, thinking it contains treasure, and the evil winds roar up into hurricanes to plague the luckless Odysseus again. After more of his men are killed and eaten by the gigantic cannibals called Laestrygonians, Odysseus's ship lands on Aia, the home of the witch Circe. Here, a party of 22 men, led by Eurylochus, goes off to explore the island. Odysseus is still speaking. In the wild wood, they found an open glade around a smooth stone house, the hall of Circe, and wolves and mountain lions lay there, mild in her soft spell, fed on her drug of evil. None would attack. Oh, it was strange, I tell you. But switching their long tails, they faced our men like hounds, who look up when their master comes with tidbits for them, as he will from table. Humbly those wolves and lions with mighty paws fawned on our men, who met their yellow eyes and feared them. In the entranceway they stayed to listen there. Inside her quiet house they heard the goddess Circe. Low she sang in her beguiling voice, while on her loom she wove ambrosial fabric sheer and bright, by that craft known to the goddesses of heaven. No one would speak until Pelides, most faithful and likable of my officers, said, "Dear friends, no need for stealth. Here's a young weaver singing a pretty song to set the air a-tingle on these lawns and paven courts. Goddess she is, or lady. Shall we greet her?" So reassured, they all cried out together, and she came swiftly to the shining doors to call them in. All but Eurylochus, who feared a snare, the innocents went after her. On thrones she seated them, and lounging chairs, while she prepared a meal of cheese and barley and amber honey mixed with Pramnian wine, adding her own vile pinch to make them lose desire or thought of our dear fatherland. Scarce had they drunk, when she flew after them with her long stick and shut them in a pigsty. Bodies, voices, heads, and bristles, all swinish now, though minds were still unchanged. So squealing in they went, and Circe tossed them acorns, mast and cornelberries, fodder for hogs who rut and slumber on the earth. Down to the ship Eurylochus came running to cry alarm. Foul magic doomed his men. But working with dry lips to speak a word he could not, being so shaken, blinding tears welled in his eyes, foreboding filled his heart. When we were frantic questioning him, at last we heard the tale. Our friends were gone. Odysseus leaves the ship and rushes to Circe's hall. The god Hermes stops him to give him a plant that will act as an antidote to Circe's power. Homer calls it molu. It might have been a kind of garlic. Odysseus uses the molu, and the witch, overcome by the plant's magic, frees Odysseus's men. Now Circe, loveliest of all immortals, persuades Odysseus to stay, share her meat and wine, and restore his heart. After many seasons of feasting and other pleasures, Odysseus and his men beg Circe to help them get home. Son of Laertes and the gods of old, Odysseus, master mariner and soldier, you shall not stay here longer against your will. But home you may not go unless you take a strange way round and come to the cold homes of Death and pale Persephone. You shall hear prophecy from the rapt shade of blind Tiresias of Thebes, forever charged with reason even among the dead. To him alone, of all the flitting ghosts, Persephone has given a mind undarkened. At this I felt a weight like stone within me, and moaning pressed my length against the bed, with no desire to see the daylight more.